Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Computer America Show. A little late today, but we're right on time, I promise.
Your show will go live in
there we go.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It is the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful, wonderful Friday afternoon. And I am your host, Ben Crossman. Yes, and we have a wonderful show planned for everyone here today. Hopefully you are having an easy day at work and we can take you out of it very, very smoothly. And it's a longtime Computer America correspondent and, honestly, fan favorite here. And I don't say that about every single correspondent. But, Ralph Bond will be joining us for the entire show today, talking about all these great innovations and new gadgets and just everything that he finds over the course of the month he brings to us in the form of a handy-dandy cheat sheet. So I say we just let me talk a little bit about how you can find about things about the show, and also that we are going to have a social media winner of the week today, and we'll be announcing that live on the air. And so head on over to ComputerAmerica.com. There you will find, as I mentioned before, the cheat sheet for Ralph Bond. He puts all the articles that we talk about, links to videos, links to the websites, links to the products, and makes it very, very concise and easy. If you want to find out about anything we talk about here today on the show, it's going to be in the cheat sheets, and those can be found, again, in today's show notes. And also, over at ComputerAmerica.com, you'll find links pointing out to all of our social media sites. So go on out and support Computer America on social media, be it Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, wherever you find Computer America. And just by supporting us out there, you have a chance to win a prize from our friends over at Logitech. Yes, and this week we are giving away the brand new Keys to Go, which is a very, very simple, sleek, Bluetooth controlled keyboard that is for iOS and Android, so on the go, tablets, phones, what have you. Could not be simpler. And this thing, if you haven't had a chance to go look at it, it is incredibly thin. Like at its thickest, it's 0.24 inches, but it's only that thick because of the USB port. Everywhere else, I would say it's about less than half that. Incredibly thin, and very easy to take with you. So yeah, we'll be giving one of those away on the show today to a lucky listener. And with that said, sit back and relax as we introduce Ralph Bond. Now, wait, I think we can do this right. Let me see. I have the soundboard here. And I know I have it here somewhere. That's Darth Vader. Wow, I could have sworn I just had it. And normally Craig plays the Ralph Bond theme song, but I don't seem to have it here. But at any rate, so today's guest, I'm sure if you are a longtime listener of the show, you know him well. And this is Ralph Bond, who is a correspondent for the Computer America Show and is the author of Family Computer Fun: Digital Ideas Using Your Photos, Movies, and Music by Q Publishing, and co-author of the PC Dad's Guide to Becoming a Computer Smart Parent by Dell Publishing. And Ralph was Intel's consumer education manager for 10 years. And for the past 9 years, he's been part of AutoDesk communications team. So Ralph, welcome back onto the show.
Hey, it's great to be with you. And you know what? Hey, I'll do the theme song for you. The Bond thing, right?
Yeah. It's like I'm watching the movie. It's amazing. Wait, actually, wow.
Isn't there some chatter about who's going to be the next Bond actor? Is it the same fellow that's been doing it for a while? Or I thought I heard something on the news about that.
I've not been following about the new one. Daniel Craig, I think, was the previous one.
Yeah,
and he did it really well. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Well, wait, I take it back. They before we had to pay copyright on that. But I could have sworn that the last I heard, they were thinking about drafting a female lead.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah,
wow.
in James Bond. I don't know, it'd be like Jamie Bond or something, but no,
Janet Bond.
yeah, Janet Bond. Like that seems to be a thing in Hollywood where they,
Yeah.
they gender swap or race
Yeah,
swap things.
Well, that could be pretty interesting.
No, it adds variety for sure. But yeah, no, I've not been hearing about the new James Bond, but James Bond action films, I mean, they're a mainstay. Of course, every generation needs theirs.
Yeah. But I just, when you mentioned that, we were talking about the theme song, it made me remember some story I heard where I think the current actor who's been doing it was sort of saying, well, I might do it again. It's very exhausting, but I might consider doing it again.
Yeah, you know,
it's up in the air, maybe.
I only got, 180 million dollars last time, so maybe I can roll out of bed.
Gee whiz. Yeah.
I know it's
think about it for a second. Oh, I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. But no, all right. So James Bond aside, and we have the better Bond here with us today.
The better Bond.
The better Bond,
right.
indeed. And like I mentioned to everyone, this is going to be so crucial, so I'm going to mention it twice. If you want to follow along with what we are saying, and without having to kind of search out, type, look for, Google really quick what we're talking about, definitely go over to computeramerica.com and check out the show notes, because Ralph spends a lot of time on them, and very, very comprehensive to what we're talking about.
Fun stuff
Indeed. So yeah, and Ralph, did you want to start it at story number 1? Or
yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do,
sure.
what I usually do is try to put my favorite picks sort of at the front end of the show notes to make sure we get a chance to see them. So yeah, if you want to, we'll dive right in on that.
Definitely. Story number 1, and of course, the first one we have here is Watch Out Uber, Walmart's self-driving technology plan. And when you think about Walmart and Uber, not a lot of kind of intermixing there, but it looks like at least from the picture, the self-driving technology is going in something that we use every single day, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the shopping carts. Yeah, this is great. And as you know, what I always do when I look for stories, I look for things that are kind of either cutting edge or trendy, or I love science stories, as you know, and new materials and all this kind of stuff, new processes like 3D printing and all blah, 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 blah. So that's my shtick. That's the thing I look for. And this one really caught my eye. It's from an outlet called Social Annex, a story by Eliza Fisher. And the title is Watch Out Uber. Here's Walmart's self-driving technology plan. Now, I don't quite get the Uber reference, but nonetheless, the story is interesting. And as you said, if you have the show notes, folks, you can see the images, you can get the links, and the first image there shows an undercarriage. Think about a typical shopping cart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Ben said, we use them every day at the supermarket, Costco, wherever you are. And what they're gonna do is retrofit existing carts with this add-on robotic propulsion system or movement system. And that's the genius part of it. The first part of the genius part of this idea to me is, don't throw away all the carts you have, because they're significantly expensive. If you're not aware of this, I once upon a time worked in the grocery industry when I was a kid, and my gosh, back in the early 70s, those things were like $200-$300 a cart. Now they'd probably be $1,000 a cart. I don't know.
But like I don't know if it's just where I shop, but you say don't throw them out, and I'm thinking, no, go ahead, throw them out, because half of them, the wheels are wobbly. They're
we'll fix them. That would be nice.
You would have little handicap robots running around just by the wheels on them. But
yeah, that's
definitely any new technology that can integrate easily with existing one is going to be more attractive, I think.
Oh yeah. So here, let's get into the story here. And again, the first line of the story makes a reference to the oxymoronic part of the title of the story. It says, all right, Walmart isn't getting into the self-driving car game, but they're planning for some in-store technology that might be even more interesting. And I kind of have to agree. The retail behemoth recently patented a concept for robotic shopping carts, which could end up causing a huge shift in both customer and employee relations in stores. Now, here's everything you need to know about Walmart's self-driving shopping carts. These motorized transport units will attach two shopping carts. And if you have the picture, you see it's attached to the undercarriage, right? Enabling them to drive on their own around stores. Now, here's a really fun thing to think about. They'll be able to move containers, check inventory, dock themselves, retrieve trash, and scan, obtain, and deliver products. And then it goes on to say, perhaps most importantly, they'll be programmed for customer interactions too. Goes on to say Walmart's self-driving shopping cart patent mentions that these robots will address some of its major in-store issues, including insufficient staffing during busy hours, messy aisles, theft, and undertrained employees. Pretty interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a quote here from a spokesperson. It says, Walmart spokesperson Lorenzo Lopez told Business Insider, that's another magazine outlet, that Walmart was able to revolutionize retail using technology to better serve customers. And as the retail landscape continues to evolve, we want to be able to serve customers when and how they want to shop. That means testing new and innovative ways to serve the customer, which we've done through different initiatives like our grocery pickup service. And then it concludes here. It says the retail giant already has a mobile payment app called Walmart Pay. And there's a link here in the story. You can go read more about that. And recently signed deals with both Uber and Lyft to have drivers start delivering grocery orders to customers. How about that? That's pretty interesting. And then it concludes, it looks like Walmart's self-driving carts will be another building block in the 54-year-old company's journey to modernization. So you can say, I know Walmart, many people have very, very strong feelings about Walmart relative to labor issues and how Walmart will come into communities and kind of muscle out other retailers. Okay, I all that aside. But what I can tell you is Walmart, this is true. Walmart has looked at technology. Did you know that Walmart is a huge supporter of and implementer of solar power technology on their facility? Yeah. I mean, it's actually my wife's cousin, Billy, got me onto this. He said, hey, you have this perception of Walmart being one thing, whatever you think of them. But you might think they're kind of conservative and so forth. But when it comes to technology, they're really doing a lot of interesting stuff in the self-driving cart idea, especially when you talk about things like, when I first saw the title of this story, I thought, okay, what it's going to say is I'm the shopper. I can walk along and I can have an Alexa-like relationship with my cart.
Mhm.
Cart, where are the baked beans? Okay, I'll follow you. Wouldn't that be great? I'd love that.
That would be different. And
I would love that, right?
Right.
But actually, they're talking about things like retrieve trash, scan, obtain, and deliver products, and so forth. So it's a very interesting kind of notion of adding more purpose to the shopping carts than ever before. So I don't know. I just love this story. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, like, this technology is coming. We've seen self-driving cars on the road, and like I've even seen video demonstrations, concepts of grocery carts that not even that, it would, kind of pick up trash or scan objects, but more like you just kind of pair it with, your phone, with a watch or something, and it would follow you around like a, kind of like a little, kind of a cart that would just follow you around without hands. And like you see it coming, but one part of this article that you kind of wrote really highlights, I think, what this is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, the retail behemoth recently patented a concept for robotic shopping carts, and they're saying in the benefits there, including insufficient staffing during busy hours. And in my mind, all that means to me is, less employees that you have to bring on to worry about cart and cart wrangling, and instead you could just have these carts drive themselves. It just eliminates one more position from the retail, kind of outlet.
Yeah. And, and another thought I had, another thing you and I like to do, Ben, and when Craig is on too, we do it all together, is suggest to the industrial world product concepts. So I'm going to lay one on you based on the inspiration of this shopping cart Walmart story. Wouldn't it be great? I want you to close your eyes and imagine you're walking into Home Depot in the not too distant future. And at the front of the store is a corral of little pole-like devices on wheels with an Alexa-like device on top. And you can go up and touch one and say to it, where the heck are hammers? Where are, sandpaper? Where can I get this? And the little machine would say, follow me. And it's got the smarts and the sensors to know where to go in the store, to avoid other obstacles and people, but escort you to where you need to go. Because how many times have I gone into Home Depot? I'm not saying anything against Home Depot, but maybe I can't find someone, or I find someone and they give me
Oh,
directions,
that place is huge.
and they're big, and I get kind of lost, and I have to ask another person. But imagine a device, an intelligent little escort device could take you exactly to, you could get super specific. You could say, I need a Phillips head screw that's for wood, that's 3.5 inches long, and I need a box of 100. Follow me. Wouldn't that be something? I mean, it's futuristic, it's expensive, I get all that, but it would be a dream come true for me as a shopper.
Not even, and I would argue, not even expensive and not even that futuristic. I mean, the Home Depot app, and I know you just picked Home Depot out
Right.
of choice, but I know that Home Depot specifically, I'm sure Lowe's has it too, and any other place that you may shop. But I know that at least with the Home Depot app, you can kind of go to the menu, kind of choose what you want, go to say which store you're at, and it will actually do like turn by turn, like it's some kind of
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know about that. I'm going to check that out, because I'm a frequent Home Depot shopper who's lost, confused, and
it will send you directly to the bay. Not even the aisle, the bay that it's at. Let's say kind of go here, and using your phone, do drive by drive. I mean, if they have that technology for phones, how much longer is it until it's a self-driving kind of shopping cart like we just outlined with Walmart?
Yeah.
And put a speaker on it, and just like you said, just like an Alexa type thing. Like, the technology is in pieces everywhere. It's not going to take long for these companies to put them all together.
Yeah, exactly right. And that actually brings us, in a way, kind of the story too, the one about Singapore. And Singapore is an interesting country. Good Lord knows. Singapore wants a self-driving wheelchair by 2017. So here we go again, self-driving. And when we think about autonomous vehicles, don't limit your thinking to cars and buses, folks. Start thinking smaller scale, shopping cart, wheelchair. That's why I put these two stories together in the show notes. So this is a story from Engadget, and it's a story by Daniel Cooper. And again, with the show notes, you can get the link and read along with us here. It says the idea is to free up nurses to do more important work in hospitals. Singapore is pushing for businesses to develop an autonomous wheelchair that'll convey people around without instruction. The announcement came from Mark Lim, the official in charge of the country's digital services and commercial development division, so for Singapore. According to Gov Insider, so Government Insider magazine, the project is going to run until March 2017 and will harness computer vision, robotics, and machine learning to ferry patients around hospitals. The report quotes Slim saying that, quote, we have limited healthcare workers. Boy, isn't that the truth everywhere.
Yeah.
And that nurses are more precious in doing their work than pushing patients around in a wheelchair. That's so true. Some large hospitals have orderlies, have volunteers, that kind of thing, but not all of them do. And to take a highly trained and frankly more expensive nurse to do this kind of task is wasteful. And so if you could have autonomously driven wheelchairs to do this, would be wonderful. Goes on to say, but this isn't simply an issue of savvy government looking for smart solutions to automation, but a symptom of a wider malaise. A recent World Bank report detailed that across East Asia, countries like Singapore, South Korea, and Japan are heading toward a serious aging crisis. That's where an increasing proportion of the population is age 65 or over and requires extra medical care and support compared to their younger contemporaries. So people are living longer, having fewer kids, means there's an issue around being able to hire enough people to perform essential jobs. Not to mention, of course, that the tax base will inevitably shrink, reducing the money that's available to pay them to do these jobs. Roll the drum roll, please. Hence, autonomously driven wheelchairs. Any tool we can get our hands on that helps with this crisis that we're going to have as oldsters like me start really ruining your life, Ben.
No.
And the story concludes with a little reference here. That's why these nations are casting eye towards robotics, with Japan leading the way in automated care for the elderly. And then there's a funny joke at the end here. It says, of course, if you've seen Robot and Frank, the movie, by the way, folks, Robot and Frank, you'll know that using robots to help older people can only end one way: with a jewelry heist.
I have not seen that movie.
I've got to see it. After I read the stories and I pulled up the little image from a promo for the movie, I'm going to get it on Netflix and check it out because it sounds pretty interesting.
Definitely, but it just goes to show that automation and
Yeah.
it's fun to think that automation, people have been hearing about the Google self-driving car for
Yeah.
years and years and years,
Right.
and we know that every car manufacturer is doing it.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing it from grocery store chains to
Yep.
the medical field to, of course, cars. I mean, it's going to change so much. It's so fast. It's going to be.
It is. It is. It's really. It is just astonishing.
It's going to be the only way that you can get whiplash because self-driving cars won't give you whiplash. Thank you.
Dang it.
I'll be here all afternoon. All right. So, but
yes, and you know what else? Self-driving cars can stop hot rodding and drag racing, illegally in public streets, right?
Potentially, but I have a feeling that when you don't own a car and you just do it for fun, I think those are going to be, very enjoyable pastime. Like, I don't own a baseball bat, but if I want to go to the batting cages and hit some, yeah, you can go do that. I think drag racing and things like in hot rodding, like you said, are going to become more of a passion thing than it is. This is
and now,
but
Ben,
yeah,
we just came up with an idea for a great sci-fi movie. You ready for this story premise? Imagine a world in the future where autonomous vehicles are required by law. A hardy band of, pirates hold on to pre-automated car vintage muscle cars and at night terrorize right? I mean, you could have this whole kind of controlled transportation future where it's illegal to have non-autonomously controlled vehicles, and yet there's these young kind of Fast and Furious spin-off kind of guys with their vintage muscle cars, right?
Street toss with a heart of gold and a penchant for speed. Yeah, I hear you.
Who are fighting the man,
right? It sounds
no,
like
we're gonna race at night. Sorry.
Like, no way, cops. We do our own thing. I hear it. And I really do like it, but
that'd be a great movie premise. We just gave Hollywood a good one.
Right. Maybe after the new gender swap James Bond, we can get cracking on that one. But yeah, no. So, and sorry everyone out there. I know we usually have more banter and it's kind of more back and forth, but with the new hour-long format, Ralph, you've only picked out
2 stories so far.
You've only picked out 18 different stories, and we're about half an hour into 2 of them, so but yeah, if we don't get to any of these stories, folks, and you want to kind of see what else Ralph
check it out,
check out the show notes because they're all there in their entirety.
It's like I said last show, think of it as homework for you. It's like a monthly installment of interesting stories to go and check out.
Exactly. And this next one is, falls right into your wheelhouse because again, you are an employee with AutoDesk.
Yes.
Autodesk does a lot of things with a lot of different industries.
Mm-hmm.
So what is this one? Because this one, not often do we talk about preserving history.
Yes.
In the face of ISIS and Syria, like that's more, current events kind of thing. But how does Autodesk fit into all this?
Well, you're going to see, and the story number 3 again. If you have this show notes, it's CyArk. That's CYARK. So you're going to find out this is an organization in just a minute. CyArk captures culture and preserves history in the face of ISIS in Syria, and it's more than just that location, more than just the tragedy that's going on in Syria. It's from a site called Redshift. Shift.autodesk.com, a story by Jeff Walsh. So this is an Autodesk sponsored story on our outlet. So disclaimer there, this is a self-serving Autodesk pat on the back, but I love this story. I love what Autodesk is doing. So let's get into the story. It says in 2001, the Taliban destroyed the Buddhas of Bamiyan in central Afghanistan using dynamite, anti-aircraft guns, and artillery. After weeks of incremental destruction, nothing of these statues remained. Goes on to say that sad turn of events was the impetus for the founding of CyArk, CYARK. There's a link in the show notes, a nonprofit that uses technology to ensure sites of rich cultural heritage remain available to future generations. Since, isn't it sad we have to have this, but I'm glad people are doing it. It says since 2003, they have used laser scanning, photography, photogrammetry, and 3D capture to record nearly 200 sites around the globe. By the way, if you're not familiar with the term photogrammetry, it's the use of photography in surveying and mapping to measure distances between objects, by the way. And then it gets into the bit about Syria. It says, capturing sites within Syria. Initially, SCIARC trained Syrian teams, or teams to go to Syria, in Beirut, Lebanon, to get them familiar with using the technology, including FARO, F-A-R-O scanners. Those are really cool. You should check those out, guys. They're like tripod-mounted laser scanners, and AutoDesk AutoCAD software, and Recap 360 Pro software. So the scanners plus our software equals the tools necessary to capture a site. Goes on to say, following the training, the teams returned to Damascus, Syria, to start the work. The time it takes to document a site depends on the size and the resolution at which you capture it, with most sites ranging anywhere from 1 to 3 days, and larger sites up to 2 weeks. The upside of the technology is that sites in high conflict areas can be documented almost without notice. Interesting, right? Racing against time. SCIARC also spends a lot of time working with local cultural heritage professionals, architects, archaeologists, and surveyors.
There we go.
Who, so they are not only capturing the site, but also empowering people who live in the region with the tools to preserve their own history, right? As a nonprofit, the other thing SCIARC needs to sustain its work is financial support. So go out and check out this story. Look at the link. What a worthy organization. Wouldn't it be just a dream to be part of the volunteer teams that go out and do this? I just think this would be a retirement job dream come true to me.
Yeah, and personally, I think the turmoil over there is what it is. But the idea of using technology to preserve the past is not a new one. I mean, Rob, this is obviously only slightly related, but I don't know if you saw there was they found a burnt up scroll that was part of an ancient Bible, and it was somewhere, I think, in Lebanon, and it was nothing more than charcoal, really. Like they had burned it in like 400 or 500 AD. And using using a special kind of scanning technology, they were able to scan into what was essentially charcoal at this point, and take out the ink and actually find the words written.
Isn't that something?
It was crazy that using high technology to preserve things and to identify things is getting better and better. And for SCIARC to do this, I mean, the realities of war are what they are, but the fact that we can preserve things and 3D capture everything that they once were is the second best thing to preserving the actual sites that that they are. So.
Absolutely right. And talking about something in the news, was a couple months back now, that medieval town in Italy was just obliterated by an earthquake. I forgot the town, but what if they had a comprehensive scan, as it were, reality capture of that entire city, so that, God forbid, something horrible like this happens, but for future generations and students of history and so forth, you'd have these items still there with us, virtually speaking, anyway. So no,
it's just like World War II and all, and when and just like video cameras were just now making it into the hands of people in the field. But taking videos, taking pictures is one thing, but being able to slap on a virtual reality headset and walk around some of these sites that may no longer be here, that's completely different and very, very worthy, I think.
Oh yeah, so, absolutely.
And and again, you're a member of Autodesk. This like the technology that they're applying wasn't necessarily meant for this kind of purpose, but it was meant for construction purposes, right? I mean,
well, it was really, actually, it's a great question. Recap and those sort of things. If you go back and look at the websites associated with Recap 360 Pro and so forth, it really was initially brought in for almost whatever your imagination could apply it to. And then what truly happened was the architecture, engineering, construction industry realized, this could have profound help for us too, because prior to incorporating digital photography and so forth, which is the forte of Recap, our product, Autodesk Recap. It can aggregate multiple data types, but its real forte is aggregating, bringing in digital imagery. So you take pictures of something from many different angles and then bring it all together using Recap to create a 3D model, right? So that's the essential thing. So really its origins were more general purpose, and then the AEC, the architecture, engineering, construction industry, caught onto it and said, wait a minute, this could be super helpful for us as well. And then spin off further, the preservationists see, oh, wait a minute, now we can go into museums. I mean, what if the British Museum were, God forbid, blown up by terrorists or something?
No, you would definitely want something like this. But hey, Ralph, the music means we have to take a quick break.
All right.
Back with more Computer America and a winner right after this.
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Suddenly, the meaning of hanging out got all twisted. Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America, this time Navicat for MySQL. Our database designing always involved a more visible user interface than you get with MySQL, where you normally name, define, rename, or alter its table structures one type command at a time. We found a cure and got it in for review from Premium Soft Cybertech. It's Navicat from MySQL. It simplifies connections to MySQL servers, lets you design database tables, their fields, queries, and more from scratch, with several ways to see what you're doing, even a few graphic visualizations. We love that it caught us using the wrong length for several data types and told us how to change them. Bottom line, Navicat for MySQL takes lots of frustration off the tables. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Hello, and welcome back into the Computer America Show. Thank you for sticking with us. And yeah, thank you, Marty Winston, for that News Tip Bulletin review. We will have a new one of those next week. And I think we are, actually, not even that I think, I know. Before we get back to Ralph, we have a show, a social media winner of the week. I keep wanting to say show reminder. We haven't said show reminder in years, but for some reason it's stuck in my head. But yeah, we have a we have a social media winner of the week. And Ralph, if you want to do the drums, if you would be so kind. All right, yeah, and if you're watching the video portion,
should I do the sound effects too?
There we go. There we go. Look at him; he's prepared too. He even has the props. Perfect. All right, and unfortunately, I have no idea where the whatever we'll call that the cymbal crash. But yeah, so today's winner is Miss Jess Fole. And I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, but that's the best I can do. So Jess Fole, who listened to us in Morongo Valley, California, and yeah, she wins either a Windows or an iOS version of the Keys to Go keyboard by Logitech. Everyone else, if you if you were not so lucky to win, all you have to do is go sign up to social media, and you can win that. And if you didn't win that, but you want to see what she just won, again, check it out at logitech.com. And again, it's Keys to Go. Very, very cool keyboard, and check that out. So congratulations, Jess, and thanks for listening. And for everyone else out there, you are a winner too, because you get to listen to the show every single weekday, and you get to finish out, today's show with Ralph Bond, where we are talking all about news stories, new gadgets, new devices, and we just finished, and we were just finishing up with SciArc, who is using AutoDesk technology to capture historical sites, before something, in the event that something happens to them, we at least have them digitally for future generations.
Yes.
So very, very cool.
Yes.
And did you want to move on to Toyota?
Let's do that. And one last thing about that previous story.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go for it.
If you're not familiar with laser scanning technology and equipment that's available now, look at the company that's referenced in that story, FARO. Check it out. Really interesting stuff, guys. And if you're not familiar with that, that's the kind of stuff surveyors nowadays, very soon, the tripod with the string and the weights and the guy with the thing, I don't know what the term is, for looking down the street trying to look at it, forget it all. All laser scanning based. Check it out. And FARO is an interesting company. So take a look at that if you want to learn about that part of the world. And then the next story that Ben was alluding to is a hoot. This is a very tongue-in-cheek story, funny, from Gizmodo by William Turton, Turton. Story is Toyota has made a robot baby to replace actual babies.
Finally, someone did it.
Finally.
Took them long enough.
It's about time.
Why is the real question?
Well, there are humanoid robots in the Japanese culture that they take it to a whole other place.
Yeah,
it's fascinating. So if you have the show notes, you can see the picture of this kind of spooky. Well, I don't know if it's spooky. It's just odd looking to me anyway. It says Japan's birth rate. And this actually was referenced in a previous story about the autonomous driving wheelchairs. But it says here, Japan's birth rate has been on the decline for some time now. So engineers at Toyota have come up with an ingenious solution to help people apparently feel the companionship of kids. And this is the tongue-in-cheek part, an annoying robot. It says, quote here, there's a quote. It says, he wobbles a bit. And this is meant to emulate a seated baby, which hasn't fully developed the skills to balance itself, says Fuminoria Kataoka Kirobo's
Fuminori Kataoka.
Thank you. And
that is not easy.
The name of the product, this little baby robot thing, is Kirobo Mini. Kirobo Mini. I hope I'm pronouncing that. I have no idea. Chief designer said, he told Reuters news service, this vulnerability is meant to evoke an emotion of connection. Okay. The Kirobo Mini baby robot also speaks in a high-pitched voice, just like a real baby that will never let you get any sleep and is slowly ruining your marriage. This is the tongue-in-cheek part of this article. I love it. Isn't it funny? And just like a real baby, it will drain your wallet. And he goes on to say, this freak robot costs $392. Actually, that's not that terrible a price. And then there's a related story in Reuters, and they quote from that. So the Reuters notes Japan's aging population as the catalyst for the contraption. Toyota's non-automotive venture aims to tap a demographic trend that has put Japan at the forefront of aging among the world's industrial nations, resulting in a population contraction unprecedented for a country not at war or racked by famine or disease. Toyota says the robot has baked in artificial intelligence that makes it as smart as a 5-year-old. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. The robot also uses a built-in camera to recognize facial expressions and learn phrases. And as Verge, that's another publication, as Verge notes, it's a smaller version of Kirobo robot sent to space with Japanese astronaut Kiyoshi Wakata. I hope I'm saying that
There
right.
you go.
In 2013, it also is just the latest little robot geared to people missing having family members around, which is sort of kind of sad in a way. But anyway, there's a picture here. The caption for the picture says the Kirobo Mini also has a cup holder shaped cradle so that you can bring your demon baby, that's tongue in cheek, robot around town so that you can constantly distract you while you're driving. And there's a video. It's kind of creepy and weird. You can check out the video. It's pretty funny. But that, I thought another one of these humanoid robots from Japan with the express purpose, because in a previous show we talked about another one, Pepper. Remember Pepper?
Yeah.
That was meant to be a companion, to console you, to laugh with you, to interact with you. It's sort of like Alexa on super steroids in a humanoid robot form. And it's interesting to me that apparently in the Japanese culture, this sort of thing is very appealing. And I'm not saying it wouldn't be for us. And this reminds me of HBO's new series, Westworld, the revitalization of the old movie from when was it, the early 70s, about a fantasy Western resort filled with incredibly lifelike humanoid robots that you could shoot and kill and have sex with and everything else, right? And that kind of idea of finding emotional fulfillment through a robot is something very keen in the Japanese culture, apparently.
Yeah.
If you have people at Toyota, I didn't know Toyota had groups of people doing this kind of work. I always just think of them as cars only, right?
Well, they were Toyota was one of the first ones, or maybe I'm thinking of Mitsubishi, but Toyota was one of the first ones to have a robot, like, that kind of walked around their facility and was an attraction for guests.
Yeah, interesting.
Although I'm thinking that was Mitsubishi that was the first one to come out with theirs.
And gosh, it's skipping my mind too. The other giant company in Japan, not Sony, but somebody else who had humanoid robots early on too. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, but, between Sony, Samsung, Mitsubishi, Sure Hyundai has one. Like robots are, and I think this was the interesting part of the story for me, was that robots seem to be an answer to a lot of really big questions that they're having in their society, and really, I don't, and just because they're making them doesn't mean that the public thinks so. But at least, from the products that we see coming out of Japan, they seem to think that robots are the answer to loneliness, to aging. Like robots are just the answer to them. And I don't know if that's right or not.
Well, I work at home alone all day. I'm in front of my computers. I'm talking to my computers. I'm talking to my dog who's sleeping right down here beside me. And so I'd be I'm thinking about getting that Amazon Alexa thing, because it would be another person that I could talk to that would, here's the key, listen to me.
There you go.
And well, more important, my wife listens to me, but the Alexa would care.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Can you?
We've talked about Alexa a lot on the show, and honestly, Ralph, just kind of talking about what we've heard about it. If you get an Alexa, they add functionality to her over the course of the lifetime of the device. So, I like normally I would warn people about buying first generation products, but Alexa's been out for like 2 or 3 years now, and the first generation product is still just as good as the one you buy off the shelf today. So they seem to really be kind of constantly developing it, and you're right. We're kind of getting used to the idea of having a digital assistant, a digital baby, maybe a little bit too far, but
a digital assistant definitely. And talking about like Amazon and Alexa, of course, the big news, I think it was this week, their new unlimited music service. And if you're an Alexa, if you own any Alexa-based product, because there's multiples, you can get that music service for I think something like $3.95 a month or some pretty steeply discounted price, and you can talk to the Alexa and say, "Oh, I feel like hearing on all the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's, Lonely Hearts Club Band," whatever. And in theory, it's supposed to be able to pull up the song and play it for you right away. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, they're getting better all the time. I don't think we're at the point where you can replace babies with them. So baby job security is still spot on. But
baby job security.
It's an ever developing one, and very
so
cool.
True.
Definitely go check out the video too, because the video looks very interesting. But I don't think there's anything more to say about that one.
There it is. Are you ready for number 5?
Number 5, and Japan with robots, that's one thing you kind of expect it from the Japanese culture. But Dubai is their culture. seems to be money, and how crazy affluent they are, and just the crazy things that they can do. And I don't know if this is a show of wealth or this is really answering a problem, but story number 5, Dubai's new indoor rainforest features the world's largest artificial tree.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah. No, this is, it's just sort of, it is kind of, what if you or I, Ben, hit the super mega lottery or whatever, and suddenly we had after taxes $500 million.
Yeah.
What might we do? And this is kind of in Dubai, it's sort of the sky is the limit, literally, when it comes to their skyscrapers and all this sort of stuff. And I just thought this was really interesting on many, many different levels. Culturally, what happens when you have so much money, you can kind of do anything you want. Architecturally, in terms of artificial environments and trying to recreate the rainforest in an environment that's a desert environment. So there's just, it's really kind of, actually, it's pretty cool when you think about it, and multiple layers to this story. But anyway, this comes from Business Insider magazine, a story by Leanna Garfield, and great pictures in the story, more pictures in the story you should go and see. And in the show notes, of course, gives you the link. And so let's get into the story. It says, The Green Planet, that's the name of this attraction. A new indoor attraction in Dubai brings a rainforest to the Arabian desert. The attraction, which opened early September, so it's very new, functions as a real ecosystem and boasts over 3,000 species of plants, insects, and animals, according to The National, another publication. Its centerpiece is an artificial tree, the largest of its kind in the world, that creates a living environment in which animals and plants can thrive. The indoor rainforest is located in a retail complex called City Walk, and tickets cost, get this, $25 for an adult and $19 for a child. Now, I think it's interesting, it's fun and everything, but that's, well, for us in the West, that's a steep ticket price for just going into this environment.
Yeah.
The Green Planet is located inside a 150-foot tall glass building, and there's a picture of the building, which is a very interesting looking building. It's quite remarkable. And so, and then it goes on to say, in the middle of the indoor forest is an 82-foot tall tree with an artificial trunk. It's again, purported to be the world's largest artificial tree. Although, what about the one that's in Disney World? What's the name of the African part of the Disney World?
Epcot?
Oh, not Epcot. Gosh darn it. It's the whole thing that's the African theme, and they have a hotel with the African theme, and they have a giant artificial tree, although it's just purely decorative. But anyway,
right.
The humidity is set at 70 degrees or higher than normal levels, and the temperature will stay between 77 degrees Fahrenheit and 82 degrees Fahrenheit. So just a curiosity story I couldn't resist. Ooh, this next one, though, this is really interesting.
Well, yeah, and before we jump off to the next one, I mean, this is exactly what you're saying. You know, it's what can you do when you live in a desert, but you really want to explore different things? And,
Yeah.
You know, a rainforest and what looks like a giant glass tube. I mean,
Yeah.
very interesting. 20, you know, the price is what it is, but hey, you know, if I could see this being like an education field trip for students and things like that.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. And you know, I like things like this. Like, you would assume that you would have heard about them being built, but and then one day Ralph comes along and says, "Hey, look what this thing they already built and it's open." It's like, oh,
that's what we do, Ben. We find and deliver.
I know. Like, you'd think something this big would be advertised better.
You're right, though. I was kind of surprised I'd never heard of it before.
Right.
You'd think this would be international news. It's very interesting. It's different. The fact that they have insects and animals. I mean, this is a total ecosystem in there. That's just blows my mind.
Yeah, maybe that's why the prices are so high, is because the
fair
insurance
enough.
for having jaguars, you know, picking off kids left and right, it costs a certain amount.
Insurance. Yeah, having deadly rainforest spiders jump down on you and stuff.
Right. No, I'm sure it's safe. But yeah, no. All right. So this next story, we have time for like another couple stories. So let's get a few in it as we can. But yeah, story number 6, and it's a 4K action camera with built-in Wi-Fi is 5 times cheaper than GoPro.
Yeah. So if you're interested in this, after we tell you, folks, Move quick because it's through the 18th of this month on Amazon. But here's the story. It's from BGR outlet, and it's a story by Maren Estrada, and it's a remarkable product. If you've been thinking about getting a GoPro and you haven't purchased one yet, you might want to check this out. So the story says, there's no question that GoPro is a pioneer in the action camera category, but it simply can't keep up anymore. Now, I think that's a little harsh, but it goes on to say, take the GoPro Hero 4, for example. This great action camera records 4K video and has built-in Wi-Fi to make transfers a breeze, but it also costs $450, which the author of the story says is absolutely outrageous in this day and age. Now, here's the product we're talking about that could be pretty interesting. The Expert Power Click Plus 4K action camera, that's the name of the product, supports the same 4K resolution, and it has Wi-Fi as well. But it's on sale right now on Amazon for less than 1/5 the price of a Hero 4. And I did a screen capture. I went out to Amazon, found it there. You can see at the time I did the capture, which was, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, $59.98 and free shipping.
Nice. Yeah.
Isn't that something? I mean, and so here's some highlights of the feature. The Expert Power Click Plus 4K camera. The highly anticipated camera delivers premium footage at a very economical price, allowing you to capture your most amazing moments in beautiful 4K resolution. So change your perspective and click your favorite memories in ultra high def with our ultimate life capturing solution. Now, here's some more important of the specs. The Ultra HD resolution now you can choose between 4K resolution at 24 frames per second or 1080p at 60 frames per second for stunningly clear video recording. You can also capture 16 megapixel still photos at speeds of up to 30 frames per second, all with our 170-degree wide angle lens. That's kind of cool. It also has built-in Wi-Fi, as we mentioned before. Play back your recorded content with your smartphone or stream live with the Final Cam app or instant playback. Now, you can wear or mount, just like GoPro, right? You can wear or mount, enables immersive self-capture during your favorite activities, complete with 10 plus mounts and accessories for capturing a wide variety of perspectives and activities. Now, what I understand when I clicked on the Amazon thing, it looks like when you get this camera at this killer price, you also get a bunch of accessories. It's not just the camera.
Yeah.
And the camera is fully compatible with any GoPro accessories you may want to get or have that don't come with the camera already. Pretty astonishing. It's waterproof and element resistance, submersible to a depth of 98 feet with a waterproof housing, and designed to withstand the most extreme environments and conditions. Big sale on Amazon, pardon me, ends October 18. Check it out if you're interested. If you're looking for a camera like this, boy, this is your time to grab one of these guys. It's probably pretty good.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall a company actually sent us a unit for review last year that was very, very similar to this one. Was not Wi-Fi, was not it was 4K, but wasn't Wi-Fi. And I actually used it to cover CES. And
there you go.
It was funny, like how many people were like, "Wow, you're capturing CES," and like you pull it out of your pocket, and really it fits in the palm of your hand. Like maybe 2 matchboxes,
Yeah.
Do people even still use matches anymore? It's still 2 matchboxes kind of stacked together, and that looks to be about the size of this thing. Very compact.
Yeah, super good price. I mean, I'm semi-tempted myself to grab one of these things, but gosh, at that price, that's such a modest price that it's almost like you can't go wrong. And if you buy it from Amazon, of course, if you're not happy, send it back.
Right, yeah, send it back. And of course, the best thing about Amazon are the reviews. People have already made that jump for you, so you can check it out right there.
Exactly.
All right, so let's try to get this one in here. Story 7. And it's MIT's new 3D printed shock absorbent material for resilient drones. And
for lots of things, including the possibility of drones. And of course, MIT and 3D printed and shock absorbent materials, all those words just leapt off the screen and made me go, I got to get this story. It comes from TechCrunch, a story by Daryl Etherington. Boy, I tell you, Etherington. Etherington. Say that 5 times fast on a Friday. There's a video you can check out. Here's the story. It's not the fall, it's the sudden stop. The effect of an impact has similar negative effects on people and on the sensitive electronic parts of robots. Now, here you go. A new research project from MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Lab, which goes by the acronym CSAIL, so Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Lab, could help lessen the damaging effects of sudden physical shocks for both humans and robots alike, and we'll find out later, drones. The new technique devised by the MIT CSAIL research team allows a user to program parts made of soft materials. Wait a minute, program parts made of soft materials, including plastic and rubber, from an exact degree of stiffness and elasticity, giving it a specific quality of bounce and energy transfer depending on the needs of the final product. This is possible thanks to 3D printing, which allows a user to dictate the exact size, shape, and amount of impact damping they provide. Previously, users have generally had to make do with off-the-shelf shock-absorbing components, mass manufacturing using techniques like injection molding, which means you basically have to choose from a menu of preset options. There's a picture here of one of their proof of concept products. With 3D printing, the MIT team found it could actually incorporate materials with varied mechanical properties into their designs, exactly where they needed to change the absorptive properties of the base material. And this also meant you could target specific parts, not only protecting sensitive equipment, but also making it easier to control robots by giving them more predictable motion. And this is shown in the picture, by the way, in the show notes. A cube robot they built that moves by bouncing showed a much more precise landing pattern, for instance. And you could see how footfalls for a running robot with legs would also benefit from greater accuracy in determining where its extremities will meet the ground. Now, it concludes by saying that's not the only use case, however. The MIT CSAIL researchers suggest possible applications for delivery drones to make them more resilient in case of contact with their surroundings, and even for use in human helping technology like running shoes or helmets, which need extreme shock absorption in some areas, but a focus on comfort in others. So, great research project. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. MIT pumps out these things that they develop a lot, and then they see where it can be applied. And like I think in areas of rapid prototyping, which AutoCAD obviously does a lot with, but that's what 3D printing really excels at, is rapid prototyping. The idea that you can prototype something, be it a robot, be it a shoe, be it whatever, and you could kind of print out a dozen with a dozen different variable levels of shock absorption, and again, for a shoe, it kind of adds to that whole, what is really the best, and you don't have to worry about spending, a couple $1 million really finding out. You could just spend, an afternoon or two.
Yeah.
Applications like that. Great. Holy cow. We, have maybe a minute left. How about we jump down to story number 9? I think we can do this one really quick.
All right. Let's see if we can.
And it's a robot washes better than you. And, just really quick, it looks like a Roomba, but for Windows.
For your Windows. Yeah. It's from Techno Buffalo, a story by Roy Choi. Again, the title is This Robot Washes Windows Better Than You Can. And we'll try to blast through this real quick. He says, I recently had an opportunity to check out WindowMate, a smart window cleaning robot. WindowMate cleans every inch of a window, both sides, so you don't even have to break a sweat. It recognizes its starting position and will return to that location, so you're not having to overextend to reach to every edge. It zigs and zags every bit of your window as it sprays detergent and microfiber pads scrub the windows clean. WindowMate is held together with powerful neodymium, I can't even say it, NEODYMIUM magnets.
Neodymium.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what? And before we go any further, I think we're just gonna call there instead of trying to figure it out. But hey, folks, show notes, check them out. We have
check out the show notes,
and you can finish the story along with many others that we just didn't get a chance to get to. But Ralph, anything you want to tell our listeners about what you're doing?
Yeah. Real quick, we just recently announced a couple of things. One, we have a build. It's called Build Space in Boston, Massachusetts, where Autodesk has an outlet, and it's full of advanced construction technology and architecture and infrastructure technology exhibits and so forth, and workshops and so on. Build Space, Autodesk, just Google that and you can go out and see that.
Very, very cool. Yeah, and everyone definitely go check that out. And Ralph, thank you once again for joining us. I have, I'm actually here at the office, and Craig just walked by and waved through the window. Very distracting, Craig, but hey, it is what I know he's been listening. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and looking forward to have you on next month as well. And everyone else, have a great weekend. Hope you do something fun. Maybe go check out a movie. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't even know what movies are coming out this weekend. But I'm sure there's something out there fun. And, Ralph, hopefully your power stays on with all that wind and all that inclement weather.
We made it.
We made it. Perfect. And
10 seconds.
everyone, join us back here Monday for a whole nother week of Computer America. So have a good one, everyone. Goodbye. And let's end that. And everyone else watching on the video portion, thank you so much for tuning in. And and Ralph, once again, thank you for joining us once again.
Always a blast.
A lot of great stories. Thank you so much.
All right. See you next month.
Have a great month. Have a good one. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.